1 year after the so-called Gaza Flotilla ended in a daring but bloody Israeli raid, supporters of Palestine, Gaza, and Hamas try to do it all over again. Can anyone stop them? Here to discuss, Nitzana Darshan-Leitner with Sharat Hadin, an Israeli law center. Nitzana, welcome.
Hi, James.
So this second Gaza Flotilla, originally scheduled for May, 1 year anniversary of the last one, we've heard now that some organizations might cancel. What's the current status of the flotilla and why is this happening?
Well, they were scheduled to May, but they pushed it off after the Turkish elections. They supposed to come on June 20th. That's what their announcement was, but now we're hearing some voices that they may push it off a little bit further. The estimation is towards the end of June for now. I guess they have some financial problems and other problems to get it together. We maybe have some part of it, but they have some problems coming here.
Let's talk about the role you might play. Why is Sharat Hadin trying to stop this flotilla with a civil suit?
Sharat Hadin is a civil rights organization that fights on behalf of Jewish rights and fight on behalf of the Israeli state. And what we saw last year was a bloodshed on the sea where the SEALs were trying to stop the organizers of the flotillas, and we want to stop that. We want to prevent bloodshed. We want to prevent this provocation, which the whole flotilla is nothing but to create hostility, to create provocation against the state of Israel. We are against it.
Of course, a very high-profile raid on the flotilla the first time around, massive media coverage, not all of it favorable, unfortunately. Tell us a little bit more about this suit. It was just filed. I understand there was a letter to Attorney General Holder involved.
This lawsuit was filed on behalf of Dr. Alan Bauer, who himself and his son was attacked by a terror attack in Jerusalem. You know, the boy was severely injured. He was hospitalized. Nobody knew if he will survive it or not, or if he got a brain damage or not. Thank God he's alive now, but he still has to go through therapy. Anyways, the lawsuit is against these 14 boats that are participating in the flotilla. And what we're trying to do is to seize the boats and to get half of the value of the boats. The lawsuit is based on the Neutrality Act. Is an act from 200 years ago that prohibits American citizens to be involved with hostilities act against a friendly state to the United States. And what the flotilla organizers are doing is actually a militant act, a military act, and hostile act against the state of Israel, because they're trying to run a blockade, a coastal blockade that Israel legally is doing around the Gaza Strip, and by doing it, they're violating the Neutrality Act. The law allows any American citizen to bring a lawsuit against these boats, to have the Attorney General seize the boat, and to get half of the profits, whatever is on the boat, and the value of the boats themselves. Half goes to the plaintiff, Dr. Alan Bauer, and half will go to the Attorney General of the United States.
So Eric Holder's got a stake in this as well.
Oh, yes.
It's interesting. You say the law is around 200 years old. We pass so many laws in America. It's always a surprise when some law that isn't 20 years old or less comes back into effect.
Right.
One of the boats that could be seized here, it's American financed, American registered. It's called the Audacity of Hope.
Well, yes, this is one of the boats that will participate in the flotilla. And it's owned by a company registered in Delaware. It's an American boat. Right now it's in Greece, waiting to sail to take part of the flotilla. And we are going to seize this as well.
If for some reason all of the boats in the flotilla end up canceling their participation, how does that affect the civil suit?
The civil suit will continue. The civil suit is actually brought against the one who currently participating in this flotilla, and also against the one who participated in the past flotilla. We know that there are at least 2 American boats that are seized in Israel right now from past May. That's called Challenger 1 and Challenger 2. And it's still a violation of the Neutrality Act, and this lawsuit is filed to seize themselves, which means that even if this flotilla will be cancelled, we still continue with the lawsuits.
One of the organizations that seems to be on the fence now, so to speak, is the IHH, Turkish Humanitarian Relief Organization. New York Times reported a while back that this is an organization that actually has very close ties with the Turkish ruling elite. Do you think that we're seeing a moment here where, with the Arab Spring and other developments, other countries in the region are starting perhaps to take a bit more of a balanced or even pro-Israeli view of what's going on in Gaza?
They were always involved. I don't think there is any change in the attitude towards what's going on in Gaza. If the IHH will be forced to cancel the flotilla, it's not going to be because they see Israel in a different light. It's because they were pressured either by the Turkish government, who basically supports them and let them operate in their state, or by the United States, or any by other sanction that will be imposed on them as a result of participating in the flotilla. In Israel, for instance, the IHH is designated as a terror organization. Hopefully they will be as well in the United States.
Since most or all of them are outside of U.S. waters right now, how does that actually have an effect on the way this suit goes forward?
We are seeking for a declaratory judgment given by the Federal American Court. And once we have this judgment, we can either domesticate it and enforce it in the different countries where the boats are actually are. And also, in the end of the road, I mean, we hope that this lawsuit will stop the boats from coming, but let's assume that they do not care. They take the sail and they arrive to Israel, because Israel is not going to let them go to Gaza, as happened last year. They're going to grab the boats and bring them to the Ashdod port. We are going to go to the Israeli court and ask them to hold off for the boats until the American proceeding will be over. So the fact that the boats are all over the world does not stop us from going to the American court, get the jurisdiction of the American court, and enforce it in different places.
This suit with Dr. Bauer as the plaintiff, it's not the only thing that you're doing. You've got a few other pots boiling here. Let's talk about them. In addition to the current suit, Sharad Hadin has also got two other main actions. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with maritime insurance.
Well, yeah, we've sent warning letters to 30 maritime insurance companies, the biggest one in the world, the one that covered 99% of the maritime insurance business. And we warned them that if they provide insurance to the boats that are participating in the flotilla, they may carry a liability of hundreds of millions of dollars in lawsuits that will be filed against them on behalf of terror victims. The law in the United States is very clear. You are not allowed to be involved with aiding and abetting a terror organization, and since the boats, the end goal of the boats are to aid the Gaza Strip, which is ruled and controlled by Hamas, you're basically helping the Hamas terror organization. If you provide insurance to these boats, you are helping the terror organization.
That's quite a substantial liability that we're talking here.
Absolutely.
Are you optimistic about your chances?
Well, Lloyd's, the biggest insurance company in the world, Lloyd's of London, already answered us and say that they are not going to provide insurance to these boats. And I think as a result of that, many boats will not be able to sail. We actually got information about a French insurance company that, although did not answer us directly, but said that they are not going to insure the French boat, which is coming out from Marseille, and this French boat cannot enter the port without insurance. So I think this will have a tremendous impact on the boats.
One more category or prong of your strategy here, so to speak, you're going after satellite communications. How does that work?
Yeah, well, you know, we learned that every boat that wants to sail needs satellite communication services, and the company that provides the services in the Middle East is the largest one in the world, called Inmarsat, and we warned Inmarsat as well, same way that we did with the insurance companies, not to provide communication services to the boats. Inmarsat actually answered us differently. They said that the boats are not owned by Hamas, and therefore they're not going to cut off their services to them.
So they're saying it's not directed.
Right, it's not directed. But they kind of wrong, because American law doesn't talk about direct help. It talks about indirect in any way.
This seems like the kind of statute that would be loosely construed in an American.
Well, yeah. Well, the interpretation of the law is very clear. You know, we know that last year the Supreme Court of the United States came down with a decision called Holder versus Humanitarian Law Project, which the case was some law professors that wanted to give legal advice to a terror organization, the Tamil Tigers, the one from Sri Lanka. And the Attorney General indicted them for providing help and assistance to a terror organization. They came to court and said, what are you talking about? All we did is providing legal advice. And the court says, by providing legal advice, free legal advice to a terror organization, you freed their money from paying to lawyers to go to their military activity. And therefore, any help, any support, anything that you provide with a terror organization is not allowed according to the United States law. And therefore, Inmarsat is wrong with their response. We are going to take them to court next week and get an injunction against them not to provide satellite communication services to the Flotilla boats.
As you forge ahead, some of our viewers might be interested to know that there's a role that the public might play as well. Tell us a little bit about how you're asking for help.
Well, yeah, we would like the American citizens to approach the Attorney General and ask him to seize the boat, to use his authority to confiscate the boats. We would also like the American citizens to call Inmarsat, which is based in the United States, and ask them not to provide services to the boats that are participating in the flotilla. After all, it's a violation of the American law, and they should not participate in that. If the public can help us with that, that would be very helpful. If they can locate the boats where they are, which port they're going to sail from. And this is not only the American citizens, everywhere in the world. And also which insurance companies are providing services to these boats. This is information that regular people can obtain, and this is absolutely a role that the public can take if they want to help to stop this next time bloodshed on the sea.
Almost a kind of crowdsourcing at work for you.
Absolutely.
Nitzana Darshan-Leitner, thanks so much.
Thank you, James.
Thanks, Nitzana. For more information on how Sharat Hadin is trying to stop the flotilla and how you can help, go to the link below. For PJTV, I'm James Polis.